The backstory for Jiren, one of the most popular characters in the franchise, was finally released, and honestly, it was probably one of the most heart-wrenching backstories in animation. And I've seen a lot of comparisons drawn to Batman, and while that is a fair comparison, it's not really accurate. Also, you have that small population of people that want to try to tarnish the reputation of Jiren. Oh, well, it's basic, it's blah blah blah, you know, whatever. You know, the ex-Khalifa Kefla fans are venting their frustrations at the awesomeness of this final battle. It's a lot to talk about in this video, so I want to talk about Jiren's backstory for a little bit. Jiren's backstory is not as cliche as people want to make it out to be, because of course you have those female Saiyan haters that are mad that their time is far gone, no one's thinking about them anymore, and now everyone gets what they want. We finally get to the Jiren versus Goku fight. First we gotta get through the Vegeta stuff, but we're finally here. We're finally on the cusp of the ultimate battle, and with the reveal of Jiren's backstory, we got a little bit more depth for the character. Now, me personally, I was always sold on Jiren. At first, I didn't really like the fact that he beat up on Goku simply because Goku has already been beaten up on through the entirety of Super. You know, he got beaten up by Frieza, he got beaten up by Goku Black, Beerus, you know, the list is endless. So when I was, you know, first initially met with Jiren and what he did, I was a little upset, but then I was like, you know what, it's not Jiren's fault. The way that he did it was unique. He completely dominated Goku. Not like these other guys who had to struggle and it was a 50-50, but because of bad writing, Goku has to lose again and the conflict is resolved through some miracle. With Jiren, it was just complete domination, and that's why I appreciate Jiren. I appreciate the character because he added a badass to Dragon Ball. When I think of Jiren, I'm sort of thinking like Brock Lesnar a little bit, like how Brock Lesnar comes into the WWE every couple of months, he dominates whoever he faces, and you know, he leaves. Jiren, he comes in, he dominates Goku in a really unique and dominant fashion, and now we got his backstory, the reason as to why he's so powerful, the reason as to why he's a cold individual. Now, people have been using incorrect terms when referring to Jiren. Jiren is not the villain here. Jiren is not evil. Jiren is just not your typical Boy Scout good guy. He's a good guy, but he's a badass. He doesn't have the oh, let's all be friends mentality. He doesn't have the let's hold hands. Holding hands and hugging solves all problems. He's a good guy, and I don't even think anti-hero, you know, accurately depicts Jiren. He's a hero, he just doesn't care for emotions, he just comes in, he protects, and he leaves. And I really appreciate that about his character. Now the backstory, again, I know I've said I was going to delve into the backstory, but when I talk about Jiren, he's quickly become one of my most favorite characters, definitely top 3. I would have to say Cell, Broly, and Jiren. I'm sorry, Zamasu, Jiren has just been too dominant. He's crushing mortals at an astonishing rate. But the backstory, Jiren was once a happy child. He frolicked, he played, he had a care in the world. And one day he came home and he didn't get told of this, he witnessed the death of his parents, the death of his people, and he was almost killed himself had it not been for his master, his trainer, that went unnamed. I don't appreciate the fact they didn't name him. I think it was significant enough that this person was named, because whoever trained Jiren initially, the original trainer deserves a lot of credit, and I feel like he should have at least been given a name. That's the only discrepancy I have with Jiren's backstory. But Jiren trained under his master, and that's how he gained his first initial set of strength. He had different sibling students join him. He amassed a following, and they were gonna go against the person that destroyed Jiren's people, but they didn't have enough strength. They couldn't cut it. Even with the training throughout his entire life, he failed. So Jiren is not a flawless, I've never been beat kind of person. He's tasted defeat as a child, as someone that couldn't defend himself. That's his character to a degree. He was once weak and he couldn't defend the people that he cared about, so he became obsessed with strength so that never would happen again. That's so... I'm sorry. Goku's backstory is kind of weak in comparison. I have to be honest. Goku's backstory is weak in comparison because a lot of people have been throwing up, oh, well, your parents and your people were killed, our entire planets were destroyed. Yeah, but how significant is that to you? Because none of you have ever cared enough to wish back your people. None of you have cared enough to really show emotion towards the Saiyans being destroyed. If anything, Vegeta has gone on record as saying he doesn't care about his people. So the way that he's depicted in Super is really out of pocket. It's really out of character for him to all of a sudden care about a random group of Saiyans from another universe, but he doesn't care about his own people. You know, but whatever. And especially Goku, because when Goku and Vegeta, that little meme about their people being destroyed, it makes no sense because they didn't have to witness it. They didn't have to watch it. Vegeta was a kid and he was stationed off somewhere else, and Goku was a baby. He didn't know anything that was going on. They did not have to witness it like Jiren. It's one thing, yes, it still has an impact, but it's one thing to see the act carried out, and Jiren had to see the act carried out. So going on with Jiren's backstory, he had a following. He had siblings, like sibling students that trained under their master. They went against the evildoer and they still lost. Even Jiren's teacher, the person that he put so much care into, the person that took him in, that saved him, he died as well. And everyone else that survived, they abandoned him because Jiren was not strong enough to finish the job. He failed again. And I guess around that time, they were kind of murky on that point. I guess around that time, Vermod took Jiren under his wing, and that is how Jiren became so powerful. So not only did Jiren lose the ones that he cared about, his parents and his people, he also was betrayed by, you know, the people that he put trust into, his sibling students. So imagine if Batman, the same backstory as Batman, but then the Justice League turned their backs on Batman. That's taken to the next degree. So Batman's never really been betrayed by the Bat family. You know, he was never betrayed by Nightwing, Robin, Barbara, any of them. He just lost his parents and then he became obsessed with justice. Jiren lost his parents, lost his people, and also lost the people that he started putting trust into, and then that caused him to have the might makes right mentality, because in his universe, that's the way that it is. It's not something that's cliche. It's something that's realistic for him. And for him to become obsessed with strength is realistic. I just appreciate that story so much from Jiren because it's so deep on so many levels that you can't help but feel sorry for the guy. And he's not a villain. Again, he's not a villain. He's just the antagonist to our protagonist. The protagonist being Goku and friends, and Jiren is the antagonist. Both of them are fighting for just causes. There's no malicious intent here. Jiren's not forcing people to see things his way. He's protecting his people. He's not forcing his people to train to become powerful and become as strong as him. He's not trying to, you know, twist people into his way of thinking. He's just acting on his own volition. He's protecting people. So I don't like that whole mentality that Jiren's evil. He just has an evil glare. This is why I like Jiren so much. He is not your stereotypical good guy. He doesn't have good little moral sayings like be good and trust your friends and you know, all that cliche crap. Now, the people that are kind of detracting from Jiren are the female Saiyan supporters. The few female Saiyan supporters. They're upset because they're seeing a spectacular battle that doesn't involve Khalifa, Kel, or Kefla. I've even seen some of these idiots say that Kefla should have beat Goku. I've seen some people say that Kale should have won the Tournament of Power, and it's just idiotic. It's idiotic. And those few Kale and Caulifla fans are really ridiculous, because they've even started the notion, or they've started the saying that Jiren has no backstory, and if you like him and don't like us, you're just sexist. We all knew that you guys were gonna like female Saiyans and blah 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 blah. What are Kale and Caulifla's backstories again? What's Kefla's backstory? The answer is they have no backstory, but let me give an interpretation of their backstory. Caulifla's backstory. My back tingles and I get all the Super Saiyan forms. I want to be a female Gotenk so bad. I act so cocky and so obnoxious that my head is starting to blow up from my exploding ego. And what's Kale's backstory again? Caulifla's my sister, but I still want to be with her, and if I think you're gonna be with her, I'm gonna transform into a failed Broly form. And Kefla is just Caulifla 2.0 with a different skin, like she has no Kale personality at all. But seriously, these Kale and Caulifla fans need to stop, and they need to sit down and accept that Kale, Caulifla, Kefla are erased forever and will never stain the Dragon Ball lore or video games ever, ever, ever. But I feel like Jiren is such a powerful character and so deep and so meaningful that he will stand the test of time in Dragon Ball lore. I almost said infamy, but he will stand the test of time. I guess he will be infamous for having some of those people hate him, but Jiren stands the test of time as one of the most important and powerful characters in the Dragon Ball lore. I would even have to say that he might give Omega Shenron a run for his money as one of the most powerful characters in the franchise. But for now, I'm going to end it. I've been your perfect being in the #1 anime, gaming, and Dragon Ball channel on YouTube. Of course, the name being Perfection. If you like the discussion, hit it with a like, hit it with a notification bell, become a true perfectionist, support the channel on Patreon in the link below. And of course, don't forget, join the Discord server so that you can discuss things with me. You can hang out with other perfectionists and Dragon Ball fans and really get something going. And I just want everyone in this community to be interjoined and just have a big community for Dragon Ball. So with that, I'm gonna end the video. Of course, I've been your perfect being, signing out.